towards your inside hip, but towards the outside of the hip. That's what I mean. Huh? So, and in that moment, you must make sure that the outside rein is not so much on that the horse says, "But how do you think I could look to the right side when you block me on the left rein?" So, coming closer. So, so, yeah. Good, so. Good. And then in one of the other situations, when you think like that could be, then you lighten a little bit and you see what the reaction is. If the head comes immediately straight again, immediately come again and say, no, 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 no. Yield from that here. And for that you don't need to be afraid to be stronger. Right? You want to make the first approach soft that you don't grab the mouth. But then don't stay in a kind of a wishy-washy position where she doesn't feel enough pressure to really yield, but it's just more pressure on and uncomfortable, or it gets dull after a while. Then you rather make that stronger, you make that loose, that you really see now she's rotating over to the right. Exaggerate one moment that you really take that head to the right side. You see how she's still holding? Exaggerate it, really take the head to the right side. So now yield. Good, so. And then do that same thing again. So, yes. And for the beginning to do this, there's nothing wrong if the head is overbending there a little bit, because I can see this on her. If you do that too much in the middle ground, then you only apply a little pressure, but nothing is happening. If you overdo this a few times, then yes, the whole neck is a little bit overbent. But one joint that bends is also the right one, between skull and first vertebra. And then when you get that better, then you gradually can say, so how do I then with the outside rein gradually get it so that she only bends, flexes. That's the difference in the definition. Flexing means that just between skull and first vertebra, the atlas, that there is a flexing. While bending means when the whole neck, or then the neck and the rib cage is bending. So we have flexing without bending, but we have never bending without flexing, at least not when the bending is correct. Go a moment to the halt. Halt. Good, and ask for that in the halt. Huh? So, apply the pressure so until you have the feeling that she is yielding from it. So, good. Not too tight there. So, good, and then light again. And then you check a little bit, and ask again a little bit, and you check a little bit, keep again a little bit, and see where she wants to go. And when she doesn't go down, you ask again a little bit, and then you let it go again. Yeah? Until she pushed forward. To that you say no. Until she, then you can take it a little bit to the left. You saw how the crest flipped? Yeah. Watch again when we're doing it to the right again, watch the crest. When she must make it slow, otherwise you cannot see it. Take it quietly to the left a little bit. Take it to the left and watch the crest.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
yeah.
Here. Well,
yeah, yeah.
So that the horse is flexed correctly.
Yeah.
And then she gets hollow in here. You see then suddenly that the upper neck muscles throw a shadow when you watch the horse, and suddenly that area is darker. In contact. In contact. Good. Let us stand. So, we call this in German abkauen lassen. Yeah? You let the horse chew, and you take him a little bit to the left, you take to the right, and this is something totally different than doing this.
Yeah.
But you see so many people, they're
Yeah.
just sitting there like that.
Battling.
No, you apply one pressure, and you want from that one pressure a certain response. You know, when she does this, you give her a kick. You tell her we cannot punish with a rein, because then we would make the horse more apprehensive. But we tell her through here to say, don't do that. Huh? Good, take her over to the left. Check whether really the crest came over. So follow a little bit when she goes down. Good. Don't give too much, just a little bit. So, and then take her gradually, rotate her over to the right again. So, but that she get so good. And we are waiting until she has the desire to move down, and then you follow. So. So, yeah. Good, so. Give her a kick. But she understands that she is not supposed to do. And when I said here, the opposite rein, even sometimes a little bit loose, then this is more in the situation when you are walking. But here in the hall, you have enough time, so you want exactly to feel in the opposite rein. That you say, I don't want to be slack with the opposite rein, but also you check out that you're not blocking her there. Huh? So that you get a feeling for both sides of the mouth. Yeah, good, good. Yeah, good. Well, good, good. So it's nice. And anytime you feel she wants to go a little lower, you follow a little. But unfortunately, a lot of the horses, they follow a little bit and then they throw themselves into it. Then you punish or you reprimand a little bit with the leg to say, don't do that. Huh? Until you feel she is polite and waits, you feel she wants to go down, but you go in slow motion down and she is following. So in addition to the flexing, you need to have the feeling, when does she apply a little pressure downward, so that you immediately realize, oh, now I should leave the flexing and rather go with her a little bit more down. Oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If she gets at home, if you do this a little bit more frequent, if she gets in the hole too touchy, then it just was for you to feel that more. Then you can put it again into the walk. Oh, yeah. See, as soon they understand that they are allowed to make that neck longer, then they are not throwing themselves into it. It is just when so, oh, yes, this is good. This is good praise. Yeah, good. So, oh, it's nice. Excellent. Oh, jawohl, good so. And sometimes also wait a little bit, huh? That it doesn't have to be the whole time, you know. Sometimes it's a moment waiting and giving her the moment time, then very often they settle a little bit and suddenly they go down. So start walking with that same feeling. And in this situation, I always say to the rider, ask yourself now in the walk whether you do with your hands exactly 100% the same things that you have done in the hold. And very often you will find that you're not doing the same things. Suddenly you realize, oh my gosh, I'm holding here more than I would in the hold. Or, oh, I'm giving here much more than I would have done in the hold. Or I'm not giving quick enough, but I had given quick enough in the hold. So until you recognize, yeah, now I'm doing the same thing, the same way, how I would have handled it in the hold. So make logically first sure you get a couple of times, you watch the crest and see whether you can see that flipping. Yeah. Good. Yeah. You see, that's a little more difficult there. And there becomes also important that new inside seat bone. That before you go to the right, you first anchor a little bit your right seat bone. You hold in a certain stability that right leg on. It's not a squeeze and a release. It's a little more like holding it a little more on, while without collapsing on the right side in your body. And then you rotate her over to the right side. While the right seat bone and right leg on, rotate now the head over to the right. And think of holding the haunches a tiny little bit out. Really to the right, yeah. Really to the right. Good, so and then you release a little bit. There you sometimes have to stay a little firmer on for a longer moment until she feels that pressure and figures out what can I do. And until she answers in that way that it's nice that you say, yeah, now I reward you. There's no point to reward the horse for something what is not right. That's only confusing then. So think holding with the right seat bone, the right leg, the haunches a little bit out while you rotate her head to the right side. So it's a little bit like a leg yielding on the circle. Huh? Good. Oh, and as soon as she releases a little bit, you follow. Watch that you're not collapsing. Watch that later on this spot on the video, how you collapse in your hip. So make sure you turn the body to the right with the weight on the right seat bone, but not collapsing, not left, not right. Huh? That's what you have to be a little careful. So, good. Right flexing and the right seat bone, right leg pushes the haunches on the right spur a little bit out in that moment. Good. Good, so when she goes a little down, you follow a little bit. Good, so. Yes. And the next moment, when she rotates to the right and drops the top line, start trotting. So for that, you need to make sure that she is sensitive enough on the leg, because otherwise you cannot trot, as I said it, in that moment when she flexes and drops down. If you then need 3-4 times your leg, she's already on a different position in front again. So immediately ask her the same thing. It took so much time now in the walk that you in the hall that you immediately remind her and say, look, the same thing we can do in the trot. Flex her to the right while you hold the haunches a tiny little bit out. And as soon as she says yes, you release and let her a little down. So yeah, there, aha. And when she blows the nose, go forward with the hand, because that's most of the time when they blow their nose, when they snort and the abschnauben, then when you go forward, they follow immediately. Come clear, like in the halt, in the same way in the trot. You feel the mouth, you apply that strength, you've applied that pressure, that she immediately says, yes ma'am, and then you reward immediately. That is that complex situation that if you misunderstand when I say immediately and you would kind of grab the mouth, then they freeze and they hold themselves against it. That's not what I mean. But you have to approach the mouth with a softness the first moment, and when you close your fist and your arm comes back and you feel she's not responding, then you immediately come stronger so that you get the job done, that head goes to the right side. And as soon then that is the case, you check the left rein, that you're not too tight on the outside or not totally slack, and then you release the inside if she has given a little bit. There. So yeah. And after a few times, you might then offer the rein looser for a moment. That when you ask that a few times, that you say, okay, the next time when she gives again, I give the rein more. I almost let the rein a little bit loose. And quickly, that right into her giving, you offer both reins for a moment, überstreichen, release the rein, and then later retake it again. Really asking right, flexing, and when it really rotates right, immediately, so go immediately forward with both hands and let the rein be looser. Let the rein be looser next moment to see well, so, yes. And when she then goes more down, then immediately in the lower frame, ask again. And instead of shortening your reins again, on that longer rein, just take your elbows further back. Huh? We can apply more pressure on the mouth with a long rein by just taking our hands and our elbows further back. That has the benefit that you in the next moment immediately have more room to go forward again and let her down again. So, yes. And as soon as she goes down more in that deeper frame, you ask again, flexing. So, yes. So, good. Good, so. So, yeah. Good. And you over and over after that, you offer it. This is not something one can force. That's a little bit. One part you can force by saying, hey, if I ask you to the right to give, you give here. That's something we can demand. But that the horse then gives the right answer, that's a little bit something with finesse, with a little waiting. So you over and over, after you asked her and she rotated, after she said, yes, ma'am, then you reward her and you give her immediately the rein a little bit. When she goes more down, you take advantage of the deeper frame and you ask again. The more the neck is down, the more room is there between jaw and the neck muscles, where the saliva gland runs. So the easier it is for the horse in the deeper frame. So. But make sure that flexing is so like you saw in the halt, that the crest flips over. Not that you just pull on the inside rein and it's like a piece of rubber that gets a little bit pushed together and then it goes in its own shape again. No, you must feel like in the halt that crest is really rotating over to the right. The horse gets hollow on the inside of the neck. Good, so then change rein, and I only did that here a little longer in one direction